Hi there, folks, and welcome. This is Oz Music Podcast, episode number 12. I am your host for the show, Damien V, and thank you so much for tuning in. Well, earlier this week, I had a quick chat with the very talented Melbourne songwriter, Mr. Buddy Ryan, and we spoke about him relocating to Australia, his recording techniques, musical influences, upcoming shows, and heaps more. We will spin up the interview a little later in the show, so make sure you do not miss out on that one. Anyway, on this week's show, we have lined you up another great bunch of Aussie bands and artists, including the wonderful Ruby Gilbert, Sydnee Carter, Kitten Heel, Rose Carleo, just to name a few, and of course all the latest news and goss from the Aussie music scene. And as always, kick back and get yourself ready for another hour of Aussie power. So kicking off the show for tonight, out of Sydney with their latest release, this is Hygge. From Sydney, that was Hygge with their second self-produced single titled Demons. Wow, how cool was that synth bass line with those layered vocals? Very, very nice. And as you heard, the song explores the dark side of passionate love, creating that very spooky vibe for this Billie Eilish-inspired track. And with that dark lyrical theme mixed with the infectious beat, it is just certain to be a dance floor filler. And the tightly controlled vocal harmonies really put the icing on the cake for me. Well, they are a Sydney-based duo comprising of Chris, a singer-songwriter, and Lem, a multi-instrumentalist producer, who both share a vision definition of music as honest and raw creative expression. Hygge is actually a Danish word meaning a special feeling or moment, representing a state of contentment and conscious presence. And for Chris and Lem, it is a feeling that can be achieved through heartfelt, vulnerable songwriting, connecting the artists with their audiences. And they do have an upcoming show, which is on the Saturday, the 30th of November at Knock Street Bar. So if you are in Sydney on the 30th, make sure you get off the couch and go to the gig and support them. And of course, they are streaming on Spotify and SoundCloud, etc. So just head on over to their Facebook page for all the links and any more info. Okay, up next on tonight's show, out of sunny Queensland, this is the very talented Isabel Wood.
All the little games you play to make sure that I don't escape, and all of the nights I cry, trying to keep my thoughts at bay. And I don't believe you when you tell me that you're sorry, and I don't believe you when you say it's all my fault. And I'm not your ghost now, I'm not the girl you used to know. I got it somehow, all by myself. And so I'm not your ghost, I'm not your friend, I'm just the one that loved you then. No, I'm not your ghost now, I'm not your friend, so let's not pretend. I got it on, I got it on. You took me far away from town when nobody was around. I heard you say I'm just for fun, but way to kick me when I'm down. And I don't believe you when you tell me that you're sorry, and I don't believe you when you say it's all my fault. I'm not your ghost now, I'm not the girl you used to know. I got it somehow, all by myself. And so I'm not your ghost, I'm not your friend, I'm just the one that loved you then. No, I'm not your ghost now, I'm not your friend, so let's not pretend. I got it on, I got it on. And I don't believe you when you say that she's nobody, and I don't believe you when you say that I'm the one. I'm not your ghost now, I'm not the girl you used to know. I got it somehow, all by myself. And so I'm not your ghost, I'm not your friend, I'm just the one that loved you then. No, I'm not your ghost, I got it on, I'm not your friend, so let's not pretend.
And that was Isabel Wood with Ghost 3am. Such a beautiful chill track and so well written and engaging. I just instantly connected with that song. Well, Isabel's career has only gone from strength to strength since the release of her recent single Sunburn, and with the track receiving airplay right across the country and the artist performing some of her biggest shows to date, including the Caloundra Music Festival, the success has caught the attention of national tastemakers all over Australia, and I am sure only big things are ahead for this talented artist. Isabel quickly followed up Sunburn with the latest single we just played, and she has promised us the release of 2 more emotive tracks early in 2020. Very exciting. She does have an upcoming show at Finders Keepers, that is the marquee at the Brisbane Showgrounds, and that is on November the 9th at 1pm sharp. I also have some sneaky news that a music clip for the track Ghost 3am may be coming very soon. So don't be shy, head on over to her social pages, hit the follow button and stay up to date with all of those upcoming releases. Okay, rolling on with the show. Next up tonight, hailing out of WA, this is the brilliant Sydnee Carter.
You sat in the doorway with his head in his hands. Wasn't quite sure what happened to all of his plans. All of his plans. He pictured himself at the end of the aisle, her in the white dress, walking down with a smile. Down with a smile. And you told me that we would be forever more. And you swore to me. So where did it all go wrong? Where did it all go wrong? Where did it all go wrong? Sure how this was their goodbye. Their goodbye. She pictured herself holding hands with a child who looks just like him, and he would drive them wild. Drive them wild. And you told me that we would be forever. So where did it all go wrong? Where did it all go wrong? Where did it all go wrong?
And that was 21-year-old singer-songwriter Sydnee Carter with her latest single, Push. Wow, honestly, that is the kind of song I could just put on loop and listen to all day long. Well, Sydnee, at the age of 15, initially went the TV talent competition route, but it was actually her own songwriting skills that would lead to her success. And in 2015, she earned the coveted Western Australian Music Award in the under-18s category, and was also a finalist in Telstra's highly competitive songwriting tournament, Road to Discovery. And then just 1 year later, she was accepted into the prestigious Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts to study contemporary music. Very, very busy. After all that preparation and experience in her youth, by the time Sydnee came to release her own music, she was more than equipped to make a huge impact. And in 2017, it was a massive year, seeing wave after wave of success, including her beautiful coming-of-age single, When We Were Young. And that earned her Western Australian Music Song of the Year award. That is amazing. Well, coming into her own, Sydney is now earning her way onto the festival stages such as Grooving the Moo, Australian Music Week, etc. And with literally millions of online views and streams, her prowess on the live stage continues to grow in tandem with her reputation as a singer and songwriter. Well, if you'd like to hear more of Sydney's music or maybe just catch one of her live shows near you, head on over to her Facebook page and all the links and news will be there for you. Well, folks, it is that time of the show for tonight's interview. And as I mentioned earlier, this week I had a quick chat with a very talented songwriter out of Melbourne, Mr. Buddy Ryan. And it really was an interesting catch up. And he's genuinely such a nice person. So without further ado, here is our chat.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, buddy. It's Damien here from Oz Music Podcast. Welcome to the show, and thanks for finding the time to have a chat.
Oh man, not a problem, Damien. It's good to speak to you, man.
Yeah, great. How's life down in Melbourne?
Oh, it's sweet, man. It's sweet. You know, I dig the flow of life, and you know, I just surround myself with all the little pieces I need to remain prospering. You know how it goes.
Yeah, my word, I do. My word, I do. So,
Yeah,
how long have you been situated in Melbourne now?
I've been in Melbourne for 6 years now, man. Yeah, 6 years. Damn,
Wow,
man.
yeah, you'd be a local by now, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I still get lost every time I drive around there, to be honest. Luckily, we've got GPSs these days. So
Exactly.
yeah, back in the old map days. So
Exactly.
you've just dropped your second EP. Well, May 11. It's wonderful. Such a beautiful soul vibe with it. I really love it.
Love, man. I really appreciate it for that one. I really wanted to make sure it was something that you could play from start to finish and get like a cohesive story and theme to it. So I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you've definitely achieved that. And listening to it, you must have some old school influences. Who are your influences that come out in your music?
Well, I mean, I guess I would come up from a time where albums and music videos and all that stuff, where you really try to, like I said, create like a full theme from it. So like, you know, my brother is 6 years older than me, and he grew up on like the heavy Jay-Z and Nas, like East Coast influence. I grew up in Connecticut, so that's East Coast.
Yep.
So I would hear playing music from his room, and I would naturally gravitate to that stuff. So I guess the way I approach making music is it comes from a space where it's holistic, to where you're all the delivery has to be on point, lyrics on point, and then the overall structure of the album and the song, you want to portray a message as well. So yeah, I guess it's that whole school of a holistic approach to the song and the album.
Oh, it flows beautifully, and you've definitely managed to wonderfully sort of blend the old sound with the new. That's another thing you must have been looking for on the EP.
I guess I didn't even do that consciously. Like I don't really feel like I'm trying to honor anything old or anything like that. Like my approach to music is totally just to go in and lay down what I feel based on the music, based on the production. So
Okay.
if the production has like a certain vibe or energy to it, it's my job as the artist and the lyricist to lay what's only appropriate to that and what's only going to enhance it to make it both cohesive. So and that's another thing. Like I'm excited. May 11 was such a vibe in the mood, but I'm really excited to just create on different production and with different templates and sort of cadences and themes, so that I can just touch on different ranges. Because again, like I said, as a lyricist, you only have to you need to do what's appropriate for the music, and that takes you across genres and across, you know, all that sort of those confining things.
So that would be the approach you would do. Would you know, the artist would give you the music and you blend to that? Do you sit back and write the lyrics for a while, or do you just jump in and let it go? Or
for me, I prefer, like with this whole EP, I wrote it over like a 4 to 6 month period.
Okay.
And then my, you know, I have friends who, you know, they would naturally just feed me beats, and I'll normally get just beats circulating around. And then I would sit with them, and there's a few beats on the EP that, you know, we made in the studio off the raw energy. But but yeah, I write music from like a really personal, just sitting by myself, or maybe like two or three people around, kind of space, because I like to let it really connect, and then, paint pictures. But yeah, I'd say most of it came from me, maybe one or two other homies with the engineer sitting in the studio and really just catching a vibe, and tapping into the core of the song.
Yeah, how does that come about? How do you get into the studio? And I hear quite a few collabs as well. So how do they sort of come about? Are they friends or?
Yeah, all friends.
Yeah, wow, awesome.
Yeah, off, man. I mean, it's interesting because, like I said, I've been here for 6 years. So the majority of the friends I built, you know, relationships I built throughout my life, they're all back in America. So coming here with my main focus being music, ironically, or not, I guess not ironically at all, but all my friends, aside from maybe one or two, are artists in some sort of way. So it's really about just keeping, at least for me, I always believe that if you're trying to progress in something, you want to keep people around you who's going to, say steel sharpen steel, who are going to inspire you to maintain and to progress on whatever sort of path you're on. So yeah, they're all friends, but at the same time, we just charge each other up naturally, either from conversation or from, hey, I made this new song, I'll show you this, and that's how a lot of things just flow. So I'm just lucky enough to have met the right people when I came here, to where it's mutual love, because that's the best thing.
That's great. That's great to hear. And as you said, it really helps everyone once you get together, collaborating with artists and other, producers and everybody. It just helps you build as an artist, in my opinion.
There's no better feeling than creating with other people, man, because this person will totally think of something that you wouldn't think of, and then the effect that has on you, and then how you respond to it. It's truly one of the best feelings that I have, like creating with other people, and everybody just being on the same page. It's like magic.
Yeah, it's great to be in something in life where everyone's winning. It's normally a give take sort of scenario. You buy something and pay for something, where music, even performing, the performer's on stage and he's giving to the audience gives back to the performer, and it's this big circular love and energy, and there's nothing better, that's for sure.
That's it, man.
Yeah. Hey, where was the album tracked? Did you do it in one particular studio or?
I did the majority of it at home.
Okay.
Yeah, since I've been here, I'd say, and mainly over the last 12 months, I've been investing in just equipment, and I managed to make a studio at home to where I've got the room soundproofed, all the equipment is up to date. The lighting is right, the mood is right, the sage is burning. All these sort of elements are
Nice.
there, so that not only for me, because I always have my music friends around, and a lot of times they'll just come around and they'll be creating, and I'll be there just a fly on the wall, even in my own house. So it's very important to have that sort of space always available to me, so that I can create whenever I feel it. So yeah, the majority of it came from home, and it turned out sweet. We did a few tracks in the studio. We did Figured Eye,
Yep.
and Code in this studio in Footscray called In-House Create. But other than that, everything else came from home.
Awesome. I noticed the double bass features quite a bit in the EP as well as a few other samples. What's your sampling process? Do you make them yourself, or do you get them from places, adjust them, or?
Yeah, so I mean, my thing with the samples is that you never want to create any kind of roadblock. So I'm always kind of a bit weary about samples.
Okay.
So what we try to do is we try to play stuff is we try to keep things as original as possible. So a lot of my friends are musicians. Like you hear some beautiful sax work on Oliver Lane, the first on the EP, which comes from a local guy here. One of my good friends, he helped me out with it. So I have a lot of guys who are just in bands or who are just musicians, to where they can recreate stuff. Or if we're going to use a sample, we try to, muddy it down and turn it into something else as much as possible, so that it's its own thing. But yeah, samples are always sweet because it helps sets the tone, but at the same time, you got to compromise and try to make things original.
Yeah, it's great. We live in an age that we able to do these things at home studios and things like that. It's
Yeah, man. There's really no limits to it.
no, that's right.
Mm.
And that goes as
Mm.
far. I was having a chat with with Rob Mackay from one of the studios, and he was talking about the same. We were just talking about the whole industry has changed with the social media and the streaming platforms, and a lot of artists are the manager, the publicist, the roadie, you're everything.
Yeah.
So, but it's good to get some people behind you, management, and help push you in the right direction, and the right people always helps. That's definitely the way to go. But I believe this is not your first release. You did have another release back in 2017, Grey. Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Yeah, so Grey was the first project that I actually put out. I put that out while I was here. That came from just songs. Like I can definitely say I didn't approach Grey the way I approached May 11, to where Grey was really just like, okay, I have a bunch of songs. I'm going to choose the ones that fit the best together, and I'm going to put it out. That was very much the Grey process, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, but that was like my first project, to where now I'm able to execute the vision a bit better and really map out what I want from start to finish. But yeah, Grey was a sweet release, man. I got so many wonderful people that came in my life after that release.
Okay.
That really helped me blossom and become, where I am now. So that's the wonderful thing about putting music out. And I say this to like different people that I meet all the time. Like, I know a lot of artists, doesn't matter what kind of artist you are, but we get like caught up in our heads and we say we want to put out like the best thing, and we might hold off on releasing music. But I always say to them, like, when you put something out, people are going to hear it, and then people are going to gravitate to you, and you'll get new people in your circle, in your life, who can help elevate you. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
then whatever you do after that is only going to be better. So like, don't shy away from putting stuff in the world, because you're only going to get stuff back, and you just have to be aware of that and really maintain and build on your craft.
Definitely. I listened to the title track. I believe it'd be the title track with the video on YouTube. That is a pretty awesome video, bro. Who
you.
directed that one, and where was that one shot?
So that video was shot by, again, this is a friend.
Okay.
76M, if you look him up on social media, local dudes here from Melbourne, my homie Johnny and a few homies, Jace and Paul. They put that video together, which was my first video, and then I guess probably their really first official video that they put out. And we just did it on a whim. We went out, we loved the song, and we had a location, and everything just came together well. But yeah, that song is forever a special one, just for the energy of it. Yeah, people always talk to me about Grey, and I'm like, man, I ain't thinking about Grey, but it's a good song. So
yeah, no, it definitely. I notice a lot of your music actually, and you've already brushed on it. Tells a story. So is that something obviously you've gone for with May 11? It's and you've definitely achieved it. It's great. But May 11, obviously that's a date, but I'm thinking it must mean more. Is there a story behind that one, or?
Yeah, so May 11 is, so if you see the album artwork for May 11,
Yep.
I guess the main character in that photo would be a little girl. That little girl is my niece, and then there's a older kid sitting next to her who's my older brother, and in the bottom corner you see just my head. So May 11 is my niece's birthday, and my niece passed away maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And that was a time when I was, oh man,
Yep.
I appreciate it, but you know, this is how the universe works.
Yep.
And then May 11 was essentially the 4 to 6 months around that time that I made this EP. So it was just a thing to where she was the theme of life when I was creating this EP, and then that's where the name for the EP came from as well.
Oh, that's a really nice tribute, bro. That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
No, really, really cool. Hey, you've got your EP launch, I believe, at the Grace Darling. I've had a few bands do their launches and stuff there. I haven't actually been there. I believe it's not too far away from the Yarra, but it sounds like a pretty good gig.
Yeah, it's going to be solid. And for me, like, again, the same way with sets, the same way with live shows is like, You always gotta pull the viewer, pull the listener, pull the audience into the world of the music. And that's the same place that I tap into. Like, so people are like, oh, do you get nervous for your shows? And yeah, you think about it, but again, I say this to my friends as well. Whenever they get the jitters or whatever the case may be about performing, I just say, man, just go back to the place, go back to the spirit that you were in when you wrote the song. You know what I mean? And then once you're in that space, everything will just flow the way it did before. You know, so it's going to be a really special night. It's going to be a really special night, man. I'm really excited for it.
Have you got a couple of support acts playing as
I
well?
I do. So, you know, we got
Give a
Cherry
shout
Oak.
out.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
got Cherry Oak featuring Joja Dunn, so she's going to be there helping. We got Mike Wang from Figured Eye going on, and then we got OK opening up. It's going to be a good night, man.
Yeah, awesome. No, I wish I could get down there and make it, but you never know. I'm stuck up here in Queensland, sadly.
At least you got the good weather, man. It's down here raining.
Yeah, I saw that today. Yeah,
It rains every other day, man.
Yeah, what do they say, 4 seasons in one day? Yeah, so, bro, you said you came over from Cincinnati. That's Ohio, isn't it?
Connecticut. So, yeah, on the East Coast. So that's like, it took me like an hour and a half to get from where I live to Times Square. So it's really close to New York. It's like the tri-state area on the East Coast. I lived in Connecticut till I was 18. And then I went to college in LA. So I moved to LA when I was 18. I lived there for 7 years, and then I came here to Melbourne.
Wow, yeah. Was it a bit of a change coming over here?
It was. But me, I've always been comfortable. I mean, luckily, it works for me because I've always been comfortable kind of being in new environments and just connecting with people. Like, I never saw any issues with not knowing somebody in the room. Yeah, you know what I mean? Cool. I maintain to myself, but everybody's the same. Man. Humans, no matter what part of the world they're from, they're the same if you just connect with them. So, yeah, I never had any issues moving around, but it's definitely like home. I love Melbourne because I really feel like there's a special energy here. I could always go back home and make music, but I feel like what I need right now as an artist and energy and the other artists who are around, it's definitely a special environment to where it's giving me what I need. And then in the next few years, for sure, I know there's going to be way more talent emerging from Australia. So I feel like it's just a special place to be for, like, you know, some sort of evolution that's about to happen.
Yeah, my word. Are you looking at doing any more tours after that, or what's up next? Are you going to head back into the studio, let this one settle for a while, or just continuing on?
Definitely going to continue on. I've had I went on a brief holiday right before the EP came out to kind of refresh and regather where I want to be as an artist. But yeah, I'm back in the studio. I was back in the studio yesterday. I'm actually in the studio now. I'm going to keep it going. We got
just breaking up a little bit there, buddy.
We're going to have. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, got you now.
Yeah, we're going to have a nationwide tour coming up soon. I'll be releasing dates. I got a couple visuals, couple videos coming from the May 11 EP. Nice. And other than that, I'm going to I'll drop a couple more singles and just keep the ball rolling, man. Everything feels good. I've been in a really good creative space. So just want to keep maximizing on that and just keep building on things.
Yeah, well, the ball seems to be rolling, bro. It really
much
does.
Love.
Really does.
Much love, man. Much love.
It's awesome. I really love the EP. As you said, it's just a chill vibe from start to finish. It's for all the listeners. So obviously, where can the listeners find out about all your dates? And obviously, you've got, you know, Spotify's and Facebooks and things. Can you tell us a little bit or tell them where they can find you?
Yeah. So if you go to all your streaming services, my name's Buddy Ryan, Buddy Ryan, on your Spotify, Apple Music, all that. My social media, Instagram, Buddy Ryan, with 2 underscores at the end. There I keep, you know, I'm always on there. I'm always updating, letting you know when the next show is, when this is dropping, when that's dropping, giving you little sneak peeks of some work that we're doing in the studio. So, yeah, man, definitely stay connected. It's a really exciting time. And yeah, everything feels good, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah, so am I. I'm looking forward to the next release and looking forward to seeing how the gig goes down at the Grace Darling. What date was that again? That's the 14th, isn't it?
14th of November,
Yeah.
this coming Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're in Melbourne, make sure you get along. Be a hell of a night by the sounds.
Yes, please. Yes, please. It's going to be delicious.
Yeah, well, look, buddy, I guess we better wrap things up. It's been great chatting, though. I've had a great chat, and I really hope the best for everything with the album launch. And you'll have to let us know how it goes. And look, we'll put all the links and everything up, and we'll spin one of the songs. Well, once again, it has been awesome chatting, Mr. Buddy Ryan. So we'll give your track a spin, and we'll throw the links up on the webpage and on our Facebook and all that sort of stuff. So thanks again, mate, for finding the time, and I hope all the best goes well and have a great weekend, and I'll hopefully speak to you down the track in the future.
Much love, Damien. Thank you, man.
You too. Thanks, mate. Okay.
Take care, G.
You too. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome. Thank you so much for the chat, and I do hope the best for your future. And of course, make sure you have a great gig at the upcoming launch show at the Grace Darling. Okay, so let's spin up one of Buddy's tracks from his latest EP titled May 11. This is Buddy Ryan with Cherry Oak.
I need to let go sometime, my mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. I gotta let go sometime, my mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. Pain dripping on the page, politicking, take a million to the grave. Body snatcher, land of brave. Tell my story, these the ways. Since a youngin' when I had the braids, was a prophet looking for the profit paid. State hopping, gaining K's. I gotta be great, could never be slave. I need to let go. Sometime my mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. Henny with lime I sip, dreaming of pushing a Porsche. Chick with an ass like a horse. When I grow up, be a boss. Fuck it, I'm grown. Please don't throw rocks at my throne. I just live life in the zone. Fuck it, I'm grown. Please don't throw rocks at my throne. I need to let go sometime. My mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. I gotta let go sometime. My mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. I need to let go sometime. My mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. I gotta let go sometime, my mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. Seven-figure fiendin', dreaming, catch a check and call a homie, split it even. With the pen I get conceited, feeling cocky, grip my penis, and my chick the meanest. Should've seen the whip the other day, I pulled up on the block the cleanest. Tangeray got me leaning, I don't need a reason, I'm all in my feelings, I may need an angel for this. Someone I could tell all this shit. When they get too dark, I make a million. Someone I could share that shit with. I just keep reaching for ceiling. I just been pushing the limit. I got no time to be timid. I hope my halo is fitted. If I ain't got it, I get it. If I ain't got, I need to let go sometime. My mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. I gotta let go sometime. My mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. I need to let go sometime, my mind it trip, slipping through time and shit. I gotta let go sometime, my mind it trip, slipping through time and shit.
And from his latest EP, May 11, that was Buddy Ryan with Cherry Oak. And it is such a captivating song. As I mentioned earlier, I am totally in love with the soulful vibe he emanates in his music, and that particular track, it's just pure truth and emotion. Well, listeners, if you'd like to stay up to date with Buddy's music, just head on over to his social pages that he listed before. And of course, we will also drop the links in our Facebook page as well. Okay, well, we'd better roll on with the show. So next up tonight, this is indie synth outfit, Kitten Heel.
Drugs you do, my fault should mention
And that was Wollongong crew Kitten Heel with Take Me With You, which actually is the lead single from their forthcoming debut EP, Club Dust. And that is due for release early 2020, so make sure you keep an eye out for that one. And it's such a clever track. It really reminds me of, say, 9 Inch Nails, while it still maintains its own strong, unique flavour. Me likey, me likey. Well, the project began as an audio deluge for two uni acquaintances, Jared Leslie Evans and Jordan Vitiello, and caught between influences, they toiled away in home production for over 3 years, and finally in 2019 they surfaced with a sound that borrows from new wave, leans on the percussive with a sneaky electronic quirk. Now fixed as a 5-piece, the Kitten Heel's live collective is a bold look into what makes this Wollongong duo tick. With 4 synths, a computer, and a questionable affection for the cowbell, Kitten Heel considers the alternative through a unique electronic lens. They do have an awesome video clip to complement the track we just played, and of course they have the usual socials, Facebook, Insta, Unearth, etc. So be sure you head on over, have a stalk, check out the clip, and don't forget to click on the follow button. Righto, rolling on tonight. Up next, this is Ruby Gilbert with Slave.
I threw a dollar in the well, threw back a dime. I gambled all of it away, now I'm working 9 to 5. Oh, am I foolish? Can I call it justified? Nothing to prove, just to myself that I am right. I'm a slave, 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 slave. I'm a slave, 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 slave. Slave, 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 slave. To how it makes me feel. I ain't gonna sweep the floors, ain't gonna make the time. I ain't working for the man no more, 'cause I can't be satisfied. What do I do, Lord, when I'm wrapped around this thumb? It's like a shootout, stand off without a gun. I'm a slave, 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 slave. I'm a slave, 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 slave. Slave, 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 slave. To how it makes me feel. I'm a slave, 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 slave. I'm a slave, 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 slave. Slave, 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 slave. To how it makes me feel. To how it makes me feel.
That's what I'm talking about. That was Ruby Gilbert with Slave. Wow, what a great song, and it just perfectly carries that historic feel musically and lyrically. Well, Ruby is nothing short of a sonic enchantress, weaving a musical alchemy of Americana style meets present-day experience. Irresistibly nostalgic, her voice evokes an old-time feel, while her lyrics are both charismatic and endearing. In 2018, Ruby first released her long-awaited debut EP titled Dearly Beloved, and since then she has toured and supported the likes of C.W. Stone King, Justin Townsend, and the Teskey Brothers. Her debut single Oh Bones was actually nominated for a Queensland Music Award and was also featured in the Channel 7 TV show Wanted and on the ABC show Diary of an Uber Driver. Very, very cool. And I have heard on the grapevine that there is a clip coming soon for the single we just played. So after the show, do not forget to click on over to her socials for all of the latest news and, of course, all of the download and streaming links. Well, folks, I do believe, sadly, we have arrived to the end of this week's show. So before I spin up our final track for the night, it is that time to quickly do the usual shout-outs. So firstly, a huge thank you to all of you bands and artists and labels and publicists for sharing your music with us. And, of course, a big thank you to Matt and the crew at Arties Music for their continued support. They do have retail stores in Brisbane and Townsville, but if you prefer to shop online like I do, just hit them up at artiesmusic.com.au 24 hours a day. Website link will also be in the show description. And finally, last but not least, I definitely cannot forget you, the loyal listener, hanging around with me until the end of the show. I really do appreciate it. Okay, of course, if you'd like to listen to any of the past episodes, read past show notes, or find details on any of the previously featured artists, just head on over to our website at ozmusicpodcast.com. Okay, our final artist for tonight is the extremely talented Rose Carleo, and we're featuring a track from her stunning album titled Life Gets in the Way. The album was recorded at Pacific International Music Studios by Robert Mackay, whom, if you remember, was one of our feature interviews just a few weeks ago, and it was co-engineered by Michael Flanders at their National Bay studio. Then the tracks were sent over and mixed by Jason Millhouse at Organic Audio in Brisbane, and the song I'm playing sits at number 8 from the 12 tracker. She has a show coming up on Saturday, the 16th of November at the Colonial Hotel, Warrington, and a bunch more dates to close out the month. So make sure you head over to her socials to find any gig dates that may be around your area. Okay, we couldn't find a more perfect track to take us out tonight. Thanks again so much for tuning in. From her dazzling album, Life Gets in the Way, this is Rose Carleo with Runaway Heart.
Before I formed the word in my mouth, I knew my heart had left my chest, and I was headed for you. And I'm tumbling out of control, yeah, I'm fumbling for anything to hold, to steady my feet, an anchor in the storm of you over me. And I'm drifting straight into you, yeah, boy, I'm sinking, I'm in too deep and I can't help it. It's not like me to be so reckless. There's nothing I can do to stop this. Run away, run away, run away, run away, heart. help it. It's not like me to be so reckless. There's nothing I can do to stop this.